Episode 7.
Yeah, got our coffees.
This episode's sponsored by Tim.
Unofficial sponsors.
Welcome back for episode 7 of the Screen Therapy Podcast. I'm Charlie Rogers. I go by SeeJayAre online, and as always, I'm joined by Nick Steinberg.
Hey, great to be here today.
Yeah, I'm excited about this episode.
Yes.
We have had a huge influx of listeners to the podcast, so thank you to you guys. The podcast, as I mentioned before, is growing rapidly every week, and I know we're both getting messages and comments on YouTube and through Instagram of feedback on the podcast. You guys seem to be loving these episodes. So
yeah, overall, it's really good. We had some feedback on our predictions.
Okay.
For our last episode.
Yeah.
Some people thought we were pretty off base with Elder Scrolls 6 coming out this year, and yeah, the more I look back on that one, I regret it.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, there's kind of a.
You never know. You gotta put some pretty spicy ones out there.
Yeah, it's no fun if we just predict everything that's gonna happen, right?
Yeah, which we could easily do.
So, as always, you can find the Screen Therapy Podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, the Google Play Store, and Spotify. Feel free to go subscribe there. Or you can watch the video version of the podcast, which goes live usually a day after, sometimes a week after, like happened this past week, because I had some issues with my computer, so I apologize for that.
Technical difficulties.
Yes,
yep.
But usually the video version will be up shortly after the audio version. But I encourage you guys to go subscribe on whatever podcast network you use, and feel free to leave us a review. If you're enjoying the podcast. If you're not, don't leave a review.
Yeah, 5 stars.
Yeah, 5 stars. So yeah, we've seen the numbers growing rapidly on this podcast. And, you know, that just motivates Nick and I to put more effort into these podcasts. A lot of the times it's been kind of like last minute. We've just kind of get together and kind of figure it out as we go. But both Nick and I are committed to actually preparing a little bit more for these podcasts and coming up with topics and kind of knowing more about them instead of just riffing off the cuff about them.
Yeah, and I know for myself, I've kind of identified a weakness of mine is relying on filler words too much. You know, I was listening back to the last episode and throwing way too many, likes and stuff like that. But just what I'm doing right now, and I think this is just something I have to work on because
absolutely.
You're much more experienced at this. You've been making YouTube videos for years,
yeah.
and this is something I've basically jumped into just as something for fun. And,
for sure.
And yeah, I think it's all part of a process, and
absolutely.
You want to push yourself to get better, be better at speaking.
Yep, I've been doing this for years. I still say way too many uhs and ums constantly, so I actually have to go through sometimes and edit some of those out.
Yeah.
But that comes. See, there you go, right there. That comes with like. I feel like a lot of the time, if you're prepared and you know what you want to talk about and you're prepared more, then it flows much better. Whereas sometimes if you're searching for something to say, then you use those filler words. I wouldn't stress too much about it because, we're just two guys in my game room making a podcast. But, I do recognize for sure we always want to get better at this. And part of the reason why we do this podcast is to get better at this, almost like not public speaking, but like being on camera and being comfortable doing podcasts. This podcast doesn't make us any money or anything like that. We just do it because we enjoy video games.
Yeah, we want to and share that.
Yeah,
with everyone.
And we just we'd like to build our comfortability
level
on camera
yeah.
and podcasts. So it's a learning process for us, and we will obviously get better as we go. I think we have. We did a podcast at our previous place of employment, and it was pretty rough when we first started. So.
Yeah, yeah, I do think we've come a long way.
We have come a long way for sure. I think when we first started, we were constantly talking over each other, and so we've kind of figured that out. But it'll only get better with each episode. So stay tuned.
I think we have to be comfortable with there being pauses. I think it's okay to pause between thoughts because that's the problem. Is I'm using those filler words just to connect thoughts because I'm worried about forgetting it.
Yeah.
Instead of...
If we pause too long,
snip.
Just cut that out.
Yeah, sure. You'll never know.
We actually I haven't been editing these much at all. Like before it was like cut, piece it all together. But now I just like the free-flowing conversation more.
Sure.
All right, Nick, do you want to hop into... There was some pretty interesting video game news that happened this past week, most notably something from Nintendo.
Yeah, this is the story that jumps out for me as probably the biggest gaming story of the past 2 weeks, which is Metroid Prime 4 getting a delay.
Yeah. Essentially a cancellation?
Yeah.
Like, because I think they're scrapping.
Reworked.
Yeah, so to me, it's like, it's not even a delay. It's like, that's gone, and there's this new thing, right?
Yeah, so they're handing development duties to Retro Studios, who, of course, did all 3 of the first Metroid Primes.
Okay, did Retro Studios, I forget, did they do the side-scrolling one on the Wii, Metroid?
Oh, Other M. No, I think that was Team Ninja?
Okay.
It was like a collaboration between Nintendo and...
Yeah, so Retro's most known for, lately, the Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah, the excellent Donkey Kong Country games. Yeah.
So it's in good hands.
Oh, absolutely. I think, actually, the fan reaction, I think, has been pretty positive overall.
Surprisingly, right?
You know, people are like, that's great that you guys delayed it.
Yeah.
But you're giving it to a really great studio, and it should... work out into a better game when all is said and done.
I've seen Nintendo get a lot of positive press for being willing to do that, being like, this isn't up to Nintendo's standard, and we don't want to release something that's subpar. Like, you got to applaud them for that. I mean, they have released a few subpar things, Wii Music in the past,
right? And yeah, that adherence to quality, I think, is really commendable because the Metroid series isn't really a big seller.
No,
it is popular with certain fan base, but
it's not big in Japan.
No, each game only really moves a few million copies.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely not on the level of Zelda or Mario.
Right. I don't think people realize how little importance it has in Japan. There's still fans, but so I kind of felt like it hasn't been a priority for Nintendo. Because they're a Japanese country and maybe still a little bit Japanese-centric at times.
But I think they're in the position now where the Switch is strong, and part of that strength is thanks to their AAA output.
Oh, yeah.
Their Zelda, Mario.
Yeah.
So they've really hit with the core gamer again, and I think Metroid is just part of that strategy. I think to have a really good Nintendo system, you need to have a Metroid game.
Absolutely. And it's been a long time since we've had that a Metroid Prime game.
Yeah.
Now, there was rumors of the Prime trilogy possibly coming to the Nintendo Switch.
I hope so.
That would be a great, stopgap. I think that would go a long way for fans, right? If we can get that before... Because this game's not coming till 2020 at the earliest now?
Probably.
Yeah.
And the original Metroid Prime trilogy is really hard to find now.
Yep.
They did re-release it.
It was really hard to find then.
Yeah. Did they not re-release it digitally on the Wii U?
I think you're right.
So,
they did.
So yeah, we know that they've already done this before. So
Yeah.
I think it would be, an expectation for it to
God,
be on the
wouldn't you
Switch.
love to play that on the Switch?
Yeah,
portable?
definitely.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I would love that.
And I've never actually finished any of those games, so it'd be great to go back and...
Yeah, I think I finished the first one back on the GameCube, but you're right, I don't think I finished the other two.
I wanted to touch on Sony's upcoming PlayStation Plus free games for February.
Okay.
So I don't know if you're aware of this, but the Vita games and PS3 games are discontinuing after next month. I think March 8th would be...
This will be the last
time they're going to include PS3 and Vita games, which I think is pretty significant.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm disappointed by the lineup.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, I really think that Sony could have had something a bit more to kind of, go out with a bang. Yeah, because the Vita, especially those free PlayStation Plus games, really drive the platform for quite a while. That was the reason I think people who did pick up a Vita were getting it, because there were just so many awesome games you could get.
Yeah.
As part of the PlayStation Plus lineup.
The Vita for me was like that indie platform where I experienced a lot of indie games, and a lot of those came from free PS Plus games each month. Yeah. I know a lot of people that just kind of predominantly played whatever was free that month on their Vitas.
Yeah, I don't think I actually ever bought that many games on Vita.
Yeah.
It was just always included in the monthly thing. I think I got Uncharted Golden Abyss as part of free
which was a fun
PlayStation
game.
Plus, which is nuts. Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been nice if they just kind of dumped anything else that they possibly could have. But I guess maybe they could have dumped a lot of their first party stuff that wasn't on there. But I doubt they would have gone out and paid to be hey, we want to make this one go. I mean, how many people are actually still downloading and using those games? I'm a special case, and I still download them just to have them available on my account. But I can't remember the last time I actually played one of those free games on my Vita.
I plugged my Vita in yesterday just to kind of be prepared.
Yeah, give it a charge.
Yeah, because it's always
well,
dead.
That's what I have to do
I
here.
know.
Like once a year, or sometimes 18 months or so.
Yeah.
I'll just go in and like charge stuff because it just sits for so long.
Right,
Like,
it's not good for the battery.
Yeah, so I did that with my Vita a couple months ago, and actually the boys were playing the PlayStation All Stars. Remember?
Oh, Battle Royale.
Battle Royale. Yeah. So
that's right. Oh, I forgot that was on there.
But yeah, it's too bad to see those games go. It would have been nice with a proper send-off.
Well,
but again, I don't know how many people are still downloading those games.
Yeah, but getting to the actual lineup, the PS4 offerings are actually really good. I don't know if you saw them. But,
no, I didn't.
So For Honor.
Okay.
That's Ubisoft's...
yeah, so now is For Honor... Have they moved to... So I think... This is one of those cases where For Honor, like, you're getting, like, the base game.
Probably.
But now there's so much more content. And we've talked about this, mentioned this before, how, you know, like, giving out that base game for free or at a highly discounted rate is kind of an interesting model. Yeah, and, like, for a game like For Honor to go free to play, you know, and get its player base up, then probably drive more, you know, DLC downloads, season pass purchases.
It's this is one... Did you ever play For Honor?
I picked it up at a garage sale for like $5. I don't think I ever actually played it.
Oh, yeah. I haven't played it either, but...
It's like a beat-em-up kind of? Is it kind of like Rise?
Fighting, like it's more like... I think it's focused around one-on-one combat.
Okay.
I know my complete ignorance of this game. Like, it came and went, I felt like, about 2 years ago when it came out.
It was one of those games, it's like that Ubisoft's been doing a lot of, is releasing the core game.
Yeah.
Not getting like the biggest fanfare, but them kind of tweaking it and staying with it and building up like this community like they did with Ghost Recon.
Yeah, Ghost Recon. More, I think, Rainbow Six Siege.
They did that Wildlands one.
Yeah.
And Siege. Yeah. It's kind of common for Ubisoft.
Yeah.
You kind of have to hand it to them, right? For sticking with these games and what may not be a huge hit at first, but kind of molding and continuing to work on.
I mean, I don't always believe that every game needs to be some kind of live service type game. I feel like that's the reason we're not getting a Prince of Persia.
Yeah.
They probably don't see how they can keep
updating you're right.
it. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, For Honor and Hitman, the complete first season,
which is apparently amazing.
Yeah,
I think I played like 10 minutes of it once, but people seem to love that game.
Hitman's a weird series in that I enjoy them when I'm playing them, but I just get kind of easily frustrated by them because I feel like I always want to do something in a certain way, kill a guy a certain way.
Yeah.
But I can't ever seem to get it to work out properly. It's so much trial and error. And don't get me wrong, I like trial and error games. Splinter Cell is probably one of my favorite franchises, and that's in the similar vein, I think. But I think Hitman's more about level mastery and stuff like that. You're meant to play it over and over.
Yeah, like meeting the object, like passing the level, but then you can pass it at like the higher tiers.
You have to become like perfect at it.
Yeah, I think the people who are into those games love them.
Yeah.
But like I just feel like it's not a huge audience that are playing those Hitman games.
But I mean, this new Hitman, that first season was critically acclaimed.
Yeah.
Definitely worth picking up.
Just looking at your list, you got some good stuff on
there. There is, everything, but I think the Vita, I don't know.
So we got Metal Gear Solid 4.
For PS3. I think that's fine. Decent offering. It's a top quality PS3 game.
The next one is a personal favorite.
Oh, Dive Kick. See, I've never played this. Yeah. Isn't this it's a 2-button
it's
fighting
awesome.
game?
So 1 button to jump, 1 button to kick. So you have to like land. So you're basically just jumping, and then it does like a dive down kick.
Yep.
And then like you hit the guy, and then like that's round 1.
Kind of like a Captain Falcon kick. Is that what?
Yes. It's pretty fun.
Nice.
I played that quite a bit on the PS3.
Yeah, and then there's Gunhouse and Rogue Aces, which I'm not familiar with, so maybe they're really good.
Yeah, I think both of those are on the Switch.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I just wish, Sony had done a little bit more.
Yeah, a proper send-off.
The fact that we're not going to be getting more PS3 or Vita games in the future.
A bit of a transition here, but hopefully they'll fill that void with PSVR games. You know, we mentioned
Oh,
this
yeah.
before. What a great way to drive sales of the PSVR headsets. If you follow me on social media, you may have seen that I picked up a PlayStation VR headset, and I am blown away.
you're loving it.
With the PSVR. So I have an HTC Vive. I was a little bit apprehensive. Now I'm just like kicking myself that I didn't get one a year and a half earlier.
Right.
I was just like, I just can't really see owning the Vive and owning the PSVR. You know, I wasn't using my Vive that much. And part of the reason why I like the PSVR is the setup. It's just so easy. Put it on, ready to go. You don't have to like clear out space. You know, there are limitations with that. Like, you can't do the room scale stuff that you can do with an HTC Vive. So one game that I love playing on my Vive is Super Hot VR. So you're moving, you're jumping around. Not great on the PSVR, those kind of games, because you're only getting tracking from the PSVR camera. But still does a pretty good job. But what I love the PSVR for is just relaxing on my couch and playing games.
That's
like,
right, you were saying that.
Yeah, Tetris Effect. Like, it's just so good. I got a nice set of headphones, and it's just so immersive. Tetris Effect. I gave Nick a bit of a demo right before we started this podcast, so he could kind of have his impression too. And do you want to talk about the two games you played?
Sure. So I played, the first one was Wipeout. I don't know what the collection is. Is it like
Wipeout,
Omega Collection or something?
Wipeout
like
Omega Collection, I think.
So it's Wipeout 2048 for the Vita, and then a couple other Wipeout games.
Yeah, I can't remember the names of them.
Yeah.
Fusion? I don't know.
Right. Wipeout's one of those series that I've always felt just has never gotten its due. It's been, like, critics love it, and there is a fan base there.
Yeah,
but
I'm a big fan of the series. I used to play the crap out of the PSP ones, and then the Vita one I think came out at launch. Yeah. Was that 2048?
Yeah. Probably still one of the best Vita games.
Yeah.
But yeah, people never seem to, I don't know.
I know what you mean.
It's never considered a top tier racer or something like that, even though it plays like one.
Yeah, it's great.
But wow, this VR experience. You know, I didn't know what to expect, because you were telling me, okay, Wipeout might be one of my favorite VR experiences.
I think it may be my favorite VR experience.
Overall, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so it's kind of like you're in the cockpit view.
Yep.
And, you know, Wipeout is a super fast racer, so... I know I started out the first race, and it was fine, just because... in the first race, it's a little slower. Yeah. You don't have your weapons yet. There's no turbo, really. But then I jumped into the next one, and once you have weapons and stuff... Yeah. Wow. Like, yeah, you're just there. It feels like you're shooting your blasters. And
I was amazed at how well it controlled, because I was a little bit worried. Like, you know when you play racing games and you do the like cockpit view in there, and just like, it's much harder than having the pulled back view. You can also do the pulled back view in VR and just like see your ship, which is also very cool. But being in that cockpit, man, you look down and you see like your legs, you can see your hands, and like you're looking around, and it's pretty darn good. And I like I said, I was amazed at how well you could actually control and maneuver inside that ship. And I just kept thinking, like, man, imagine you and 7 other friends had this game, and like, I'm not positive about the multiplayer options in this, but I would assume that you could do like voice chat between all 8 of you and be racing against each other.
Yeah, it'd
like,
be a blast.
What an experience. And I just kept thinking, like, if this were like an experience at an arcade or like Disney World or whatever, a VR experience, this would be one of the best things in those arcades. And I'm able to sit on my couch. I paid $8 for this game with a VR headset and get this experience. It's mind-blowing how good it is.
Yeah, that's what it feels like, is an arcade game where you're in the whatever you call it, the cockpits or whatever you know, that they make.
Yeah. Like, it feels like this is like an expensive, elaborate experience that I shouldn't be able to experience for... So, a bunch of PSVR games were on sale, so I took advantage of the sale, and I think it ended up being $8 for the Omega Collection. I bought the PSVR bundle used. I got the newer version of the headset, which has like HDMI pass-through and a couple little tweaks to it. I think I paid $300, but it came with the new version, the camera, the Move controllers, and 6 games. And I actually had 2 older Move controllers, so I sold those off for $60. Long story here. So I ended up paying about $240, which for me, like, if you're somebody who does not have a current VR setup and you have PS4, I think it's a must buy.
I'm really considering it.
Yeah, like, look for one used on Kijiji. You know, it's one of those things that, like, it's like pool tables and treadmills. People buy them and they just sit there and they barely get used. So if you can find one used, classified ads or Craigslist, I would highly recommend.
I think that would be my concern, is how much would I actually use it. But
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there's enough in the library now to
Nick, like,
make it like a serious part of my regular.
So
rotation.
you have your PS4 in your bed, right? Like in your bedroom, sorry?
Yeah, yeah.
So you just lay in bed, strap this guy on, and even if you're playing non-VR, did you see at the beginning with the screen?
Oh yeah, it'd be great for
cool.
watching
movies,
Netflix, anything.
playing any just regular game. It turns, you may have like a 32-inch TV somewhere. Now you've got a 300-inch TV, and like it looks pretty good. Like I said, it's not as good as the HTC Vive, but I was really blown away
just
at the
not
quality.
as crisp.
Yeah, so the HTC Vive is more crisp, but I noticed like more of a screen door effect on the HTC Vive, so it looks like you're looking through one of those, you can see little tiny grids, whereas this one I don't see that as much, but it's a little bit more foggy, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it looks good if you're not really focusing too much on, I think, on one thing.
For sure. But when things are moving, it looks really good.
Yeah. Actually, it looked really good on Astrobot Rescue. Is it Rescue Mission?
Yes.
Okay. That was the other game I played.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I could see why people were raving about this game last year.
Yeah. So I only played through the first, I think, 5 levels. You just played through the first level there. I think it definitely would have been in contention for my top 5 games of the year. Yeah. It's a really interesting experience. Really good $50 game. It's on sale right now. If you guys want to pick it up, I think it's on for $40. That's in Canada, so even cheaper in the States. I think it's closer to $30.
Right. And this is one of those games that I feel like it would have been great just as a regular platformer.
Yeah.
But the team found a way to implement VR in a way that enhanced the experience. I mean, I can't say too much about it because I don't know where it goes in levels and how the VR is implemented.
Yep.
In the first level anyway, it mostly revolves around being able to like turn this way and move your character up and just having cool vantage points. Yeah.
So you're set back, like you're on like this little floating drone thing and you're controlling your Astrobot. Yeah. And you're just kind of following and he's running along, and it's funny because if he runs in front of you, he runs and he waves at you while he's running by you. It's got
a lot of personality.
Yeah, a lot of charm. Yeah. Yeah, it slowly introduces new mechanics. There's like you can pass the level in the game. You're actually rescuing the Astrobots, so they're scattered and some are hid throughout the level. So you've got to search for them. You can complete a level by finding half of them, or you can like go all out and find all of them. And there's little collectibles and stuff like that. It's an amazing game. It just really made me think about like, wow, could you imagine a Mario game in this world? For me, it was like, what about something like Little Big Planet with a similar VR where you're just basically following around the character? It's a really special game.
Oh, and imagine for building levels and
all
that. You could just be right there.
Yeah, swing around, get different vantage points. But yeah, overall, really, really impressed with the PSVR. Really quickly, I also played some Farpoint. I wasn't that big on Farpoint. It was kind of it was kind of their big game. Like when the PSVR like first year or so came out.
Yeah, it's a first-person sort of adventure game or something?
Yeah, it's okay. The movement's pretty good. I played it with a controller. It probably would have been better with the dual. I don't have the gun controller thing. Maybe I thought I could use my old PS3 Killzone one. Didn't work, unfortunately. So I wasn't a huge fan of that. But another one that I really enjoyed was Eagle Flight. So that's a Ubisoft game. You play as an eagle and you use your head to control. So when you see the eagle, you can kind of see the eagle's beak. Yeah. So you're the eagle and you're
that must feel weird.
It's pretty cool because again, you're just sitting here relaxing, and I like those type of games, like I said. So you're using the helmet and you're just turning like this, and like you can do like if you hold the L2 or R2, you can like do quick bank turns, and you're just going like this will make you go up and down. It's actually really cool and pretty intuitive. Graphics are kind of cartoony, just kind of, they can't push like ultra realistic graphics. Yeah. I think even the Vive version is I'm sure it looks better than this, but pretty fun game, interesting concept. Again, that's on sale for like $10 right now.
Have you tried Borderlands VR yet?
No, and I'm not interested. No. I don't know why. I'm not interested in the games that like have been turned into VR, like Skyrim. I don't know. It just doesn't really interest me. I have Doom VFR. I haven't actually tried that yet.
Oh, that would probably be fun.
Yeah, I heard that's really good. So that's actually a separate experience. Like, it's not just the Doom game
Right.
turned in. It's like a totally different thing. So maybe I'll be more into something like that that's kind of built for VR. I don't know enough about Borderlands 2. It could be totally redone, but I think it's just Borderlands 2 in VR, correct?
Yeah, yeah. I think it's only single player, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's just the campaign or whatever.
Yeah, it's something that, like, if I found cheap, I'd pick it up. The last one I tried was Psychonauts Rhombus of Ruin, I think it was called. And I'm a huge Psychonauts fan. This one was on sale for like $4 or something like that, so I thought I'd try it out. Basically, you're just in this ship predominantly. It's like your hub world. It's got all the characters from the game, and it's basically kind of like a puzzle game. So environmental puzzles. You can possess other characters and control them. That's his psychic power. Telekinesis. So just kind of a cool, kind of cute environmental puzzle game. Definitely worth the $4 or whatever it is right now on the PlayStation Store. So
$4, wow.
I have been spending a lot of time playing with my PSVR, and I couldn't recommend it enough.
Have you tried? I've heard good things about Rez on PlayStation VR.
So I have played that on the Vive.
Oh, it's on Vive as well.
Res Infinite. Yeah,
right.
There's this whole like VR mode that I think you unlock it after you play the initial Res game, and I think that was kind of people's issue with that is you can't jump right into that.
Through the
yeah. So I don't know if they've changed that.
What about the original Star Wars Battlefront had a VR mission.
Heard, and I have that. I need to go back and try that because people have been telling me to check that one out.
Yeah.
So that's on my list, and also Ace Combat 7 apparently is insane in VR. So I just don't necessarily want to spend $80 here in Canada, $79.99 for a game. So if I can find that used, or maybe my library will get that one in and I can check it out from there. So most of my time this past 2 weeks has been spent in VR down here with my helmet on, with the volume blasting. I'm always scared that like one of my boys or my wife's gonna come tap me on the shoulder and scare the crap out of me. So randomly I'll think I'm hearing something, so I'll turn it down and go, hello? Is anyone there?
I can just imagine
down in my basement.
you like just with the headset on, hello?
Anybody there?
It's so quiet.
What was that?
Because you have it going through the speakers.
I just I hope no one comes down because I'll
100%. Yeah. That needs to be like an unspoken contract when you have a VR headset on. It's like, don't scare me.
So I've told my wife that. I'm like, if you come down and I have the VR helmet on, just yell. Don't come up and sneak up on me because you might get whacked inadvertently. So anyways, Nick, what have you been playing the last 2 weeks?
I've been playing a few games, and a few pretty big games. Actually, man, January.
Yeah.
Great games.
When did that happen?
I don't know. Right? Like, January is usually awful for games. It's usually catch up for games you missed last year. But I've been playing the Resident Evil 2 remake.
Okay,
so
good.
I talked in the last episode about how I tried the demo, and I liked the demo so much that I went out and bought the full game. I love it.
Okay, that's what I've been hearing. People love this game.
Yeah, I think it's one of the greatest remakes.
Okay, so what's your connection with the original then? Did you play through?
Not a lot.
Okay, that's like me.
Yeah, I've played a little bit of the old Resident Evil games. Mostly Code Veronica.
Yes.
I got maybe a quarter of the way through that game.
So did you play that on the Dreamcast?
PlayStation 2 when they had to re-release.
Yeah, so that's the one that like I still love because I played the crap out of that on the Dreamcast. I did play through the original. I did beat that, but I don't remember playing number 2.
Played like a little bit of it.
Okay.
Back on the PlayStation. But
yeah, I actually went back the day that it was released and played it a bit on my Dreamcast.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw you post about that.
Yeah. But so
how was it?
It's okay.
It's okay,
like it takes a little getting used to the tank controls again.
Yeah.
But I know in the new one that's all been revamped, right?
Right. So my entryway into the Resident Evil franchise was probably like a lot of people was Resident Evil 4.
Yep.
Still one of my favorite games.
Yeah,
of all time.
I kind of put it out there like, what's your favorite Resident Evil game? And most people I think agreed. I think people had like, well, I really love 3 or 2 or 1. For me, it was Code Veronica, but I think most people recognize that like Resident Evil 4 is probably the best in the series.
Yeah, or one of the best anyway.
Yeah.
I know some purists will say that it's kind of when the series started to go downhill a bit.
Okay.
Just
Yeah,
because
5 and
it
6,
became
no
more
one-
action oriented. They got away from the survival horror elements.
Yeah.
What I really like about this remake is it feels kind of like the perfect marriage between the design of the old games and more modern conventions.
Yeah.
So you have the behind the shoulder kind of Resident Evil 4 style controls, except the controls are even better because when you're aiming, you can actually move a bit. So you have a little more, I guess, movement capability. But I mean, Resident Evil 2, I think, was a pretty creepy game, and they really retained that. You're surviving. You constantly don't have enough ammo, or at least you never feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Which I like. You somehow make it through scenarios.
Yeah.
But you're like, how did I do that?
Yeah, and relying heavily on like resource management and that being part of the suspense, right?
Right. And the great thing is that they've designed it in such a way where it highlights the brilliance of the original game design, because the levels are just so well put together. It's really about learning the environment in detail and kind of memorizing it. Like the halls of the Raccoon City police station just become like second nature after a while.
Yeah, because you're revisiting it so much.
You know where this enemy is that you left alive because you had to run, so you know you're going to have to deal with that.
Yeah.
But they also improve it, I think, with more modern, considerations. You have unlimited saves now, at least on the normal difficulty, whereas before you had the ink ribbons, which right, and you had to, whenever you saved, it was kind of it was a big decision, right?
Yeah.
Now, at least, before I go into a new area, I can save and then plan out from there. At least if I die, I'm only back there.
I'm sure there's a way to play.
You can. There's a hardcore mode which
retains
makes it like the old.
Yeah,
which
cool.
I think is good. It services both types of players. The other thing I really like is that items will be marked on the map now and important areas.
Okay.
Say because these old Resident Evil games, you'd be
searching
everywhere, but also you'll come across something that you don't have the key or the weird gemstone that you have to put in yet.
Yeah.
But it'll mark it on your map, so at least you can kind of remember where to go.
Yeah, I mean that cuts down a lot of playtime, right? Where you're just like, I'm not a big fan of I like looking at every nook and cranny, but like sometimes it just gets so tedious, and something that could take you an hour ends up taking you 3, and like we've said, we don't have time for that anymore.
Right, and I like it. It is the kind of game that I think it's valuable to keep notes, because you're coming across a lot of different little case files that'll there's a hidden code in there for like a safe that you found 10 minutes ago somewhere. And you
remember those days,
there.
little notepad?
Yeah.
Back of the manual, it was for me.
Yeah.
They used to have sections. Remember, like note sections in the back of the physical manual?
Yeah.
They used to do that a lot.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. That's right.
Or you buy a game used and
manuals.
you'd see like people's scribbles in there.
I used to obsessively read the manuals.
Oh yeah.
And some of them were so well done too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Manuals. R.I.P. manuals.
Yeah. Don't give me these digital ones. I'm never gonna check them. It's
so
just
you
not
were
the same.
So you were mentioning how scary it was. That was one thing I was worried about, because going back and playing the original, the original number 2, the zombies kind of look a little cheesy and dated.
Oh.
So have they revamped?
Zombies are scary in this game.
Okay, good.
Yeah, they just don't go down. Well, it's a combination of a couple things.
You have to like place your shots, right? Like if you hit one in the shoulder.
I mean, go for headshots all the time, right? The thing that makes the zombies scary, like I said, it's kind of twofold. It's the fact that aiming is really difficult. There is no auto aim on the normal difficult. Like there's no, it doesn't. The reticle doesn't kind of snap to. No, it's very much you have to control it manually, and pulling off headshots are hard because the zombies really like to lurch.
Yeah.
And it takes quite a bit to put them down for good, because you'll get them down, and unless their head explodes, they could get back up. So I'm always going up to them and slicing them. And you can slice off limbs.
So are you shooting to take him down and then just like making sure he's dead with a...
Yeah, or sometimes I'll just be like, bye, okay, you're down.
I'm out of here.
It's a constant balance between should I take these guys out so
Or
that
run.
this area is cleared
Yeah,
when I come
okay.
back, or should I
That's cool.
just run to conserve ammo?
So how long did it take you to beat the game?
I think it took about 9 hours.
Oh,
First
okay.
playthrough. I played as Claire, so you can be
Oh, yeah.
Claire or Leon.
Yeah.
And then now I'm going through my second run, where now
Okay.
I play as Leon.
And I heard it's pretty much the same aside from like a couple other scenes. That they...
Yeah, from what I understand, there's an enemy in this game. His name Mr. X or Tyrant. I don't know if you're familiar with it. He was in the original game, but I think he just has a more prominent role in this game. He's this, he's like a Terminator.
Mm-hmm. I have heard about this guy.
He shows up at a certain point in the game. You don't know when.
Okay.
And he's relentless. He follows you everywhere.
There's like a sound, right? That
Yeah,
plays
well,
when he's...
yeah, and he stomps really loudly, and you can't kill him. So, holy crap, does that make this a way more stressful experience, because when he showed up, I didn't know where I needed to go next, and it was terrifying, because I know as soon as I leave this, you can go to the safe rooms, where you have the typewriters and stuff, and he can't get in those rooms, but he can get everywhere else.
Okay.
So as soon as you get out of there, it's fair game. He could be just downstairs, and he's going to come find you. And
That's
he's
awesome.
drawn by gunfire, so if you're engaging enemies somewhere else, he's probably going to show up. And
Okay, is it when he shows up, is it just like fade to black, like he's got you and like game over?
No, you can survive. Like, if he hits you, you'll be injured, but I think you can only take a couple hits from him. The key is that your character always moves a little bit faster than him in a straight line.
Yep.
So as long as you're ahead of him, you can get away, but he's relentless. And I'm torn about whether I like this design decision or not.
Yeah.
I think it's really effective, and it makes you play the game in a different way, but I don't know how much I enjoyed it, just because of how anxiety-inducing it was.
Yeah, I think it really adds the suspense. It sounds kind of cool. Like, do you play this with headphones? Or
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's key, right?
It made it even better. You kind of needed them to know where he is.
Yeah,
but,
the spatial awareness, right?
Yeah, I like playing these games in a methodical, sort of slower way, where I really like to take my time and inch forward through an environment, because I don't know what's going to pop up.
Yeah.
But Mr. X makes you play it in a much different way, where you're running a lot of the time.
That's
like,
cool.
Oh god, there's a liquor on the ceiling! Ah!
Liquor? Oh,
yeah. Those things are terrifying in this game. But highly recommend this game. Capcom knocked it out of the park with this remake. I think it's worth every penny.
Yeah, so I'm more likely to play it now that I know I can get through one
please do it.
playthrough in 9 or 10 hours, even to complete both playthroughs in 20.
Yeah, and I was taking my time too. It's not a long game, and it's not hard. Some of the boss battles can be a little annoying, but you'll figure it out. It's mostly shoot the obvious weak point and pray.
Yeah, I definitely want to check it out. Is it a full price game? Do you remember?
It is. Okay. I pretty much only got it because I had a $20 gift card. Okay. So, put that towards it, made it a little more reasonable. But I think, in hindsight, I would have paid full price for it.
Nice.
A lot of replay value, because you can play through a bunch of times. Improve your runs, find all the secrets, that sort of thing.
Nice. I definitely need to check that one out.
Yeah.
So the other game, aside from PSVR, where I've been spending most of my time, is Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
So I pre-ordered Kingdom Hearts 3 and totally forgot about it. It wasn't really on my radar until, I think it was Christmas break, and I was just looking at IGN or whatever, and read up on a preview. I'm like, I'm kind of interested in this, because I've been craving a JRPG for a little while. I really kind of wanted to pick up Dragon Quest, the newest Dragon Quest. Also Octopath Traveler. I know they're very different games, but just kind of craving
the genre.
Craving a JRPG. So it showed up in my mailbox. I forgot that I had pre-ordered it. Also, I pre-ordered it on the Xbox, which I got a lot of flack for.
Why?
Well, even myself, I'm like, these are PlayStation games, right? Like,
yeah, but you can play it on the X.
That's why I think I pre-ordered it on the Xbox One X, but as I'm playing it, I'm like, this doesn't feel right.
But it also doesn't. I also don't understand kind of why they released it on Xbox, because none of the other Kingdom Hearts are available.
Yeah. On
that, they've released a bunch of collections on PS4.
Yeah, well, they started releasing all the Final Fantasies a while back on the Xbox. I think 360, right? So maybe they're just kind of following suit there.
Maybe.
So Kingdom Hearts 3. Essentially, to me, is Final Fantasy and Disney mixed together, right? So I love, and it's like older Final Fantasy. It feels to me more like a Final Fantasy 8 or 9, which I love. Other than the battle system's very different. It's essentially like a beat 'em up brawler, and that's the reason that that's what really hooked me into this game, and it's why I think I'm actually going to play this game a lot and hopefully finish this one. Just because the battle system is fantastic and it's just a lot of fun. It looks absolutely gorgeous. I want a quick touch on the story. So
the Kingdom Hearts story.
Yes.
This isn't a quick touch. I don't know if you can.
Well, it is for me because I know nothing about it, right?
Great,
so
okay.
I just want people to know that if you know nothing about Kingdom Hearts, you haven't played any of the games, don't let that deter you from playing this.
Thank you, because that was going to be my question.
Because even if you had, you're still not going to understand it.
Yeah, so that seems to be. I was doing some research on it because my roommate picked this up.
Yeah.
He's a huge Kingdom Hearts fan, and so I have access to it, which is great. And he's like, "Yeah, you should start a game and play it." And I'm looking at it, I'm like, "Oh, I think I will. That's cool. Oh, you're playing with Hercules?" And it's like, "Oh, Toy Story Land? Yeah. This is so cool." And so I was looking it up about, okay, do I need to play the other games? Like, what's going on? And people are saying, some people are, yeah, I would play probably Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. There's also some videos you can watch, I think.
Oh, yes. So in the game, I actually watched like a YouTube video breaking it all down. Half-hour video. I was lost after 4 minutes, so it was like, even if I had played this, like, there's no way I'm keeping track of all these. It's ridiculous. The story is insane, and it spans across 10 different games on multiple systems, and going back and going forward. It's a complete mess. You do not need to know it. Like, you do need to know exactly what's happening in the game, but I'm just saying, like, don't let that deter you from playing this game if you've never played one in the series, because the story, it's there in the background, but like there's so much more to this game than just the story that's happening. And you're going to see characters pop in, and you're not going to know who they are at first, but then it kind of builds some context on them. And it's got a great like compendium. It's like a series of 5 or 6 chapters. I would highly recommend you watch those first. They're like 4 or 5 minutes each, just giving you a background on the main characters and what happened when. That was a much more like short and concise version. And that gives you enough to move forward. But like I said, don't let that scare you off, because this is a really, really good game.
Yeah, I get the sense that the story is just complete gibberish in this series.
Yes.
Jim Sterling has a really good video he put out this week about that. He was trying to explain it, and he just gave up. After he's just like, what
I gotta watch
is
that.
Square Enix even doing here?
Yeah.
You know?
It's very Japanese, very strange.
Right.
It's really out there, and like I said, even if you had played all the games, you'd still be like, wait, what? You know?
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, having a lot of fun with it. Like you said, the first initial section is in, what is it, Mount Olympus? Is it Olympus? Or Hercules?
What's Hercules Land?
I think it's Olympus.
Greece.
I'm trying to remember. Remember the old Hercules cartoon with Newton? And that's me, Herc. Remember that? Like, it's like from,
no, I don't think I ever watched
so
this.
it's from the 60s, and it had like dentalists, and he has like a mental thing, and
I think
like
I know what you
it's
mean.
got that that's the sign of Hercules. It had that cool like intro song. Google it, guys.
Wait, maybe I'm thinking of, is it Robo Robin Hood or something like that?
Yeah, that's a Rocket Robin Hood.
Rocket Robin Hood.
Okay,
that's right.
So there was a Hercules cartoon. I think it was probably 60s. Just check it out on YouTube. It's fantastic. Awesome intro song. Great little cartoon.
Great.
Anyways, I don't know much about the Hercules Disney movie. I don't think I've ever actually seen it. And,
it's underrated. It's good.
Okay, I gotta check that out. You know, and my boys and I, we were just at Disney, so they've been sitting and watching me play this game, and it's been a lot of fun. You've got your 2 main. This part I do know because I did play some of number 1, but you play as Sora, and back in number 1, Sora was like sent to this realm. Don't roast me in the comments. I don't know anything about.
Mickey's king, right?
Yes, I believe. Yes. Yeah. So then he kind of teams up with Donald and Mickey, and that's been kind of a. Sorry, yeah, Donald and Goofy.
I know.
And that's been kind of like a reoccurring kind of team throughout some of the games.
Right.
So it's like, it was nice to see me going back to those two because I was familiar with that part. Really cool. So they each have like, I think Donald is a mage. And Goofy, I'm not quite sure what Goofy is yet, but he's got his power is a shield, and like so there's like environmental areas where you can use their specials, like so there's like fire right now in the Mount Olympus area. of Hercules, and to get over it, like just when you're like running through the world, you hit Donald's special, and he like throws down a shield, and you slide on his shield, and you have to like control through the environment. It's pretty cool. Oh. And then like they each have their own special attacks within like the battle parts of the game, which are awesome and look fantastic. I'm about, I think, just 3 hours in, so I don't have a whole lot of experience with it yet, but man, I'm really enjoying what I've played so far, and I think I'm actually going to stick with it. That's one of the things with me, right? Like, I get these games, and even before, I'm like, am I actually going to play this? You know, and like, I'll buy a game, play it for 4 or 5 hours, then just something else comes out, and I move on. But I think I'm actually going to stick with this one. I'm having a lot of fun with it. And I would recommend it, like I said, if you haven't played any of the Kingdom Hearts games, don't let that scare you off.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give it a go.
Good.
Yeah.
Did you buy Resident Evil physical?
I got it digitally.
Oh,
because I had a PSN gift card.
Gotcha. I was gonna say, man, is there a way that? Yeah,
I know.
It'll take me too long to finish it, anyways. I was gonna say we could just swap.
Sure.
But I won't be done anytime soon. Anything else that you've been playing the last couple weeks?
Yeah, a couple games. I want to briefly touch on Bloodborne. I've gone back to trying to beat Bloodborne.
The first one? Isn't there a couple?
Well, there's only one.
Okay, what am I thinking of the other one?
Dark Souls.
Okay.
Yeah. So
PS4?
PS4.
Yes.
Yeah, this was a PS4 exclusive. The only PS4 exclusive in that Souls series. So I bought this game when it came out, like almost 4 years ago now. Wow. Got maybe 5 bosses in and just kind of gave up on it. Yeah. Not because I didn't like it, but just I think I got stuck on something.
I think it was the same thing for me. I think I actually played it too, but just only got a couple hours in.
Yeah, and so this has always been a prominent one on my pile of shame, because I really just want to be able to say that I've finished a Souls game.
Yeah.
And
it's a real accomplishment there, right?
Yeah, and I love the design of this game, especially. I haven't played any of the other Dark Souls, so I can't really comment on those, but I really like Bloodborne's fast combat, emphasis on dodging. How you use guns as like a parry system.
Is that really the difference? Like, there's guns in Bloodborne, but Dark Souls, no?
Dark Souls has more shields.
Okay.
But I think, at least with Dark Souls 3, you can kind of play it like Bloodborne.
Okay.
In terms of a lot of dodging.
So in general, is Bloodborne a little more fast-paced? Is that where you're...
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, yeah. So what inspired me to go back to it is over on the Kotaku Split Screen podcast, they had a bet that I guess one of the hosts, Jason Schreier, he lost, and so the other host, Kirk Hamilton, he asked, or had to give him a game that he has to play through, and so he gave him Bloodborne, and so Jason's been talking about kind of his experience going back to it. It's a game kind of like with me that he fell off of when it came out, and something finally clicked for him, and now he loves it. He gets it, right? So I think a lot of listeners are going back along with him to play it.
It's a good idea. I like that.
I kind of want to do that, but then Resident Evil came out, but so I took a little break, but I kind of see some similarities in the design almost. I talked about with Resident Evil how it becomes about level mastery.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing in Bloodborne. And what I think people really like about it, or one of the things that people really like about these games, is that you become so intimately familiar with the levels. Where at first you're just inching forward, like, I don't know what's going to pop out at me. And then by your 10th time through that area, you know exactly where this guy's going to pop out. You dodge, you kill him, you do this.
Yeah, and like how to use the environment strategically and stuff like that. Yeah,
it's great. So, luckily for me, I had already played through the first few levels of this game pretty extensively, so I'm pretty comfortable with where I'm at. I mean, the first boss still kicked my ass a little bit, but I beat him on the second or third try. But really looking forward to getting back to that one.
Nice,
hopefully beating it. So I'll have updates on that as we go.
Awesome. It'd be interesting maybe at some point on this podcast, it'd be kind of nice to do that, where we have like a reoccurring game that both of us are playing and that maybe our audience can kind of play along with us.
Yeah, I think we should do maybe some sort of joint pile of shame. Maybe pick one that crosses for both of us.
Good idea. Yeah, and then maybe we'll put it out there for the audience. Something that's easily accessible or like now has become pretty cheap that we can all pick up, or a lot of us may already own, just haven't gone through, that we can kind of touch on in like a segment each week. So
yeah, I think a lot of video game enthusiasts, we have a lot of blind spots. You only have so much time to play games.
Absolutely.
So I have a lot of classics that I've just never really played or only put a bit of time into. So yeah, it'd be great way to go back and play some of those.
So the other thing that I played, a big release that actually just came out, I think it came out on Friday. I got it a few days early, is Wargroove.
Wargroove.
Okay, not even on your radar. Awesome.
No.
Okay, so Wargroove is the closest thing that you're ever going to get to Advance Wars.
Oh.
So you enjoyed Into the Breach.
I think I have heard of this. Okay. Yeah.
If you liked Into the Breach, you're going to love Wargroove. Because it is, Wargroove, like I said, is the closest thing to Advance Wars. Nintendo just seems to not want to release a new Advance Wars. This game's created by Chucklefish. And it's...
what else have they done?
Yes, I'm trying to remember. I know that they've known for something, but I can't remember. It's not Stardew Valley. Isn't Terraria?
Oh, maybe.
But yeah, while Nick looks that up.
Yeah, Chucklefish Games. Hold on.
So
Starbound, Risk of Rain.
Okay, yeah, those are vaguely. I kind of know those, but okay. So yeah, created by Chucklefish. I think it's around $20.
Oh, they did do Stardew Valley.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay, they did. Okay.
All right.
That's where I knew them from. Okay. So I knew I hadn't heard the name before. So Wargroove is. Unlike Advance Wars, which is advanced, like, military, futuristic, this is more, I guess we would call it, like, medieval, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones type setting. So basically, the Advance Wars formula is very similar art style, so you're moving in a grid base, attacking, you've got certain vantage points, so if you're in the forest, you get a bonus for defense. You could be like in the mountains, you get an even higher bonus. You're controlling your units, of whether it be soldiers, and this game's got like trebuchets and slingshots and all that kind of cool stuff. There is, what do they call it? Battle pups. There's units of these cute battle
battle puppies.
They're called battle pups. Yeah. So it's really good. It's very challenging. Pretty light. It's got a story that kind of fleshes out the universe and battles, but it's just kind of like there. It's not something that's gonna win any awards for its story.
I guess you don't really play these games for the story.
No.
Right?
But yeah, really challenging game. So it's a tactical RPG. That's what, if you're not familiar with Advance Wars, which I became a big fan of that sort of game with Final Fantasy Tactics on the original PlayStation. Then I moved into like the Tactics Ogre game on the PSP. I loved. I've always been a fan of Advance Wars. Now you said that you just kind of got into this genre
through Into the Breach.
Into the Breach. Yeah. So
and I guess Mario Rabbids a little bit. Like, would you classify that?
Yeah, for sure. Okay. And I tried to get you into Tiny Metal, but you weren't a big fan of that. I wasn't a huge fan of Tiny Metal, but this one you're gonna love. Did you ever play? So you didn't play Advance Wars. You're just kind of familiar with it.
Just familiar. Yeah.
Excellent game. Campaign's probably 12 to 15 hours long. I'm not finished it. I'm only a few hours in. Super challenging. I did have an issue with some of the save points, like. The main story of the game, you'll get involved in these long battles. So you'll get like, sometimes they'll take like up to an hour. And you'll be 40 minutes in, and like you got to go do something. You can't save. You can't save while in a battle.
Okay.
So
can you just pause it?
I mean, you can put your Switch in suspend mode, but I wish that you could pause. And I guess that kind of adds to the difficulty and challenge of the game.
You think maybe the battles are just too long? Like, do you kind of wish they were...
In the story mode, some of them are for sure. They're a little bit too long. You can also play the arcade mode, which I think is a series of 5 battles, even like less story, but still some story. And then the skirmish, the battles are like 20 to 30 minutes. So you can go that route too. Might be a good way if you just have like a little bit of time to play through a few of those. But yeah, I wish the save system was a little better. There's also an amazing level editor in this, so you can almost like build your own campaign.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, and I can't remember what they said, but you might even be able to add story elements too, which was pretty awesome. Also some great online modes. I think the one online modes, so if you almost think of it like a tactical RPG, almost like chess, you can make your moves, and then that's just it. You like log out or whatever, and then the other, I think it pings the other person, like it's your time for your move.
Okay.
And they can come in and like, okay, move, and then you just go on. So you can have like these ongoing battles through, I don't know, days if you wanted.
Neat.
So really interesting multiplayer modes, and yeah, the level editor I messed around with, very, very cool. Yeah, I would highly recommend this one if you're into tactical RPGs at all. Don't let its cute graphics fool you. It is a pretty challenging game, but not as a deterrent. Like it really kind of builds. It starts off pretty simple and adds on as you go, so it's easy to follow and kind of learn how to play a game. So if this is your first time playing this, don't be scared off at all.
Okay.
But
what platforms?
It's actually on PS4, Xbox One, and Switch.
And Switch. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But of course, the Switch is
it like a full price game? Or
I think
is
it's $30. Okay. Yeah, in Canada, I think it's around 30. Actually, maybe like 26-ish. I can't remember, but it's between that $20 and $30 range.
Sounds, yeah, up my alley.
Highly recommend it. Like I said, it's great on the Switch. Other than the fact that I wish they had, I wish you could save mid-battle.
Right.
Because that can be a bit of an issue.
I had one more game to talk about before we move on to what we're watching. Unless you have something else that you want to... You do? Okay, never mind. Okay, so this will be my last game of what we've been playing. So, Battlefield 5.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, my buddy and I picked this up this week because it was half price on the PSN store.
Okay.
On PSN.
Mm-hmm.
And mostly because the Battle Royale mode is coming out in March, and we kind of just wanted to get it, and we really want to check it out and just see how it is.
I just can't understand why EA... Why are you holding this back? Like, Battlefield 5 isn't exactly setting the world on fire.
No.
And you really should have had that out.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I agree. But what is there?
Yeah.
Really enjoying it.
Okay, so did you play some of the single player campaign?
No.
Okay, skip that completely.
Yeah.
You went right into the multiplayer, which I actually quite enjoyed. Like, so basically, like bigger team battles where you've got, well, you're from what I remember, you're part of like you're on whatever the good guys, the bad guys, but then like you're broken up into smaller squads.
Yes.
Which I had a lot of fun with.
So yeah, like you said, you're broken up into squads. So they're up to 4 people. You'll have a squad leader. There's actually like a lot of kind of depth inside it that I'm still trying to figure out. There's so much going on in these games that I don't really
You can chat between your squad members only, right? From what I remember?
Yeah, I'm not sure because I'm playing it just in a party with my buddy, so we're just chatting with each other. Like, we're not really involved in the larger chat.
Okay.
So I haven't really talked to anybody else, but I'm going to assume that's
I think that's how it went, because I just kind of hopped online to try it out.
Yeah.
And I think you're just like, you're part of this bigger team, but then you got your little squad, and you can kind of develop strategies as a squad, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah, what I really like is that you're kind of encouraged to do stuff as a squad.
Yeah.
So we're playing in... I've only played the Conquest mode, which is the classic Battlefield.
Yep.
Where you're taking points. It's a huge battle, up to 64 players.
Yeah.
And what I really like doing is kind of running mini missions inside of that. My buddy and I really like to just play on foot. I play as a medic, mostly, because I love like running into the thick of battle, just reviving people.
That's
like
cool.
It's just, it's the thing I love about Battlefield games. You know, I feel like this one isn't really breaking any new ground in any sort of way, but just they do such a good job of putting you in that huge, hectic war. Like, there's so much going on. You know, there's dogfights overhead. Yep. You know, a tank is shooting at you, like shelling your area. You got walls blowing up around you, and you're trying to engage in small arms combat, and
if that's what you're into. Like, there's so much variance.
Yes.
Because you can hop in those tanks. You can hop in and
you can do whatever.
Hop in the planes, right? Like, so it gives you such a different experience. You know, minute to minute, you could doing such different things.
And it's such a team-oriented game. It really does feel like each match is won by the team that seems to coordinate the most in terms of defending their points and also trying to take new ones.
Yeah.
Responding to things that are going on in the battle. Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
You know what I'll just cut.
Sure.
So you know what I loved when I was playing? I just hopped online with 3 other guys, and they started like role playing.
That's
like,
amazing.
Like playing
like
it,
calling
like,
out.
Yeah,
There's
like,
Jerry.
Yeah, like playing it like we were actually in the war, right?
Yeah.
Like, and and speaking in those terms. I'm like, all right, you flank here, and like, great work, soldier. Like, it was actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
And normally I'm not a huge online gamer, but I think this may be my thing, like with a squad, where instead of just me running and gunning and getting destroyed, I feel like I can contribute more in the team setting.
That's what I wanted to touch on. Yeah, you don't have to be great at, getting headshots.
Yes.
You don't have to be the best shot to do well in Battlefield. Me and my friend are consistently probably ranking in the top 10 for our teams just because we're doing a lot of the other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He's more focused on kills, and I'm keeping him and my squad alive, and also getting a lot of revives, doing like support fire, and you're getting, points for all of that, right? That contribute to the overall score, and I really like that. It's you can very much play a role, and I think that's what I've always admired about the Battlefield games. I had some issues with how this game is set up. Like, getting it started was a huge pain in the ass just because it installed the single player stuff first, and then you have to wait for another install, and I just wanted to get to the multiplayer, and the load times are pretty long. There's some weird glitches here and there.
Yeah.
I feel like they're still trying to iron this game out. From what I understand, when Battlefield 5 came out last fall, it was like a mess.
It was pretty rough.
Which, that seems to be every other Battlefield. They mess it up in some way.
Yeah. I played through some of the single-player campaign, really enjoyed it. They kind of break it up into smaller sections.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you're in this little battle this obscure battle that not many people know about. So there's like some historical significance that I thought was kind of cool. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous game.
It is.
I played it both on PC, which is amazing, and Xbox One X looks great. It's just kind of unfortunate, right? Like, it's one of those games that like not a lot of people are playing it right now, and I feel like that Battle Royale mode would have really helped it. And EA really needs a win right now.
Yeah. I wonder if it'll see any kind of significant boost when that comes out. I think probably because people who really like Battle Royale will probably want to check it out.
Yeah, I don't have much...
I can see myself playing it quite a bit, but, only if there is, enough of a community to sustain it. Because there's nothing worse than jumping into a game and having to wait forever for a match. I haven't found too much problem.
My opinion is that it's too late. Like, even this would have to be the world's greatest Battle Royale
Well, it still
mode.
doesn't come out till March. I have to wait another month now. But
I don't know why.
I don't know. I just wanted to get in on it because it was half price.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like there'll be enough in the base game to
for sure.
enjoy. And yeah, definitely.
I think value-wise.
Like the levels.
Yep.
There's a level in the desert, and like a sandstorm comes in, a dynamic sandstorm, and it obscures visibility, and I'm just like, this is so cool.
The scope of those games is just insane.
Yeah. So there's, definitely problems with it, but it's really giving me that a little more of a casual multiplayer experience right now, where taking it seriously, but it's not as intense as playing, Call of Duty Blackout mode.
Yeah.
It's not as much emphasis on your pure shooting skill, which I like. Like you said, it's about tactics and flanking, and so many cool options at your disposal.
Which is great for people like me who suck at first-person shooting.
Exactly, yeah.
Speaking of EA needing a win, did you play the Anthem VIP demo?
I started this up yesterday and then just did not have time.
Okay.
I really regret kind of missing this. Although I think it's still active.
You didn't
right
miss
now.
anything because I couldn't even play the damn
What?
thing.
Okay.
And most people
right.
couldn't because the frickin' servers, there was server issues. So that first day that I tried to play it, it just sat on this screen and it was just like, okay, I guess I'm not playing this. So I looked it up and like, okay, server issues. I tried again the next day. Got into the game in the hub world, went to launch a mission and just sat there and it did nothing. So I'm like, okay, well, I tried.
That's Anthem.
So yeah, that's our Anthem discussion because neither of us played it. So
yeah. How are you? Okay, that aside, how are you feeling about this game? I just don't care about Anthem. Maybe once it comes out and I start, reading more about it, and if it's really good, maybe I'll care more. But
I'm trying to care.
Yeah.
I'd like a online kind of multiplayer game to play. It was between this and The Division 2. And
It might be
I think I was already more of a Division 2 guy. I actually really enjoyed quite a bit the first one.
Yeah.
And I've been hearing good things about Anthem too. Like when people were actually able to play it.
Sure.
But like I wasn't into Destiny, and I just don't see why I'd be into Anthem.
Okay.
It feels like the type of game that's going to be half price 2 weeks after it comes out, and eventually go to free to play. I'm not feeling too confident about Anthem being a big win for EA.
Have you seen its ridiculous release schedule? They had to release a
chart, like
chart
a
to
flow
figure
chart.
out, yeah, how, like a spreadsheet.
Yeah, you can play it on this platform on this day.
If you buy this version of it, and
Yeah.
oh, I hate this so much.
Yeah, it's a little sketchy, but you know, I
definitely
want
in a
EA to do well, and I hope they but I just don't. I don't know. I'm not really feeling it.
I'm in a wait and see on this one for sure.
I think I'm actually gonna play. I just pre-ordered the Division 2. It was on sale at Walmart for $20 off. So
When does that come out? March?
I think March. Yeah.
Okay.
But so I'm kind of looking forward to that one. I'd like some sort of online experience to kind of play here and there.
Yeah, like a co-op RPG online. Yeah, for sure.
The other video game stuff I've been playing is a lot of retro stuff this week.
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing a lot of Neo Geo. Have you ever played a Neo Geo AES?
I have not.
Most people haven't because it's an obscenely expensive console. The games run for minimum, I don't know, well, you can find some Japanese version of the games for 60, but usually like 120 and up. So I picked up a Neo Geo AES probably 6 years ago now. I think it was $280 with 9 games. The system, and I actually went and looked at some of the prices of these games, and one of them's going for like $350. Most of them are like $150. So I think I might sell them because I ordered a Neo Geo AES EverDrive. Actually, it's not technically an EverDrive. It's the Neo SD, but people refer to these cartridges as EverDrives. Okay. It's kind of like rollerblades and Kleenex. They just kind of call them all EverDrive. So essentially what they are is cartridges that use an SD card that you load the ROMs to. So you can load the entire Neo Geo ROM set to this, and then the cartridge goes in your actual hardware on the system. Obscenely expensive. It was $500.
The EverDrive?
Yep. Wow. So it's something that I did not take lately, but I'm going to actually sell off some of those games to pay for it.
Okay.
Because I want to play more Neo Geo games on the original hardware. And it's not really feasible to actually go out and buy the games. I know you can play them on your RetroPie, but you know, obviously I like to play things on the original hardware. So, but while I ordered that, they have a deal. I ordered it from Stone Age Gamer. You get 5% off if you order another one. So it actually brought my bill down. Like, I think I saved, I don't know, 30 or 40 bucks on that one. And then I ordered the Game Gear EverDrive. And that one is an EverDrive, I believe. Yeah. So I can do the same thing essentially with my Game Gear. And the Game Gear one, you can actually play Master System ROMs.
Oh, perfect.
And I've got this awesome modded Game Gear from Jelly Belly Customs. I need to show you that because it's really, really impressive. It's got the new LCD screen in it, so it's backlit. It's gorgeous. So yeah, I'm excited to get those in the mail. I've been playing a lot of Dreamcast. I revived my Seaman. If you follow me on Instagram, you can see in my stories that I'm raising 2 Seamen right now. It's a pretty obscure and weird Japanese Dreamcast game that came out right around 2000, and not a lot of people own because it's really weird. It's essentially like a virtual pet Tamagotchi type thing on the Dreamcast. So yeah, I've been playing that, and yeah, quite a bit of retro stuff lately. I been playing the PlayStation Classic.
Oh, right, because you've
added games stuff to that, so that's been pretty cool. I saw that Costco dropped them down to $30.
Are you kidding me?
Would you be in on that
$30?
price?
I think I could justify it.
I think I'd buy 3 or 4. I would, and just like have them like for Christmas gifts for people at $30. Like
maybe I'll take a look.
If they're I don't know if they're still there, but I think you may see that happen because Walmart could build another Walmart out of the amount of
classics they have like sitting around.
They're like there's an obscene amount of them. So I have a feeling that Walmart's going to blow them out. I don't know if they'll go down to 30, but at $30, like that's a no-brainer to me.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah,
controllers. Even if you don't play
even
that
if you
much,
don't,
it's good enough as like a look. I have it.
Cool on the shelf.
Yeah.
And at some point, you know, they're not going to make more of these. I'll tell you that.
That's right.
Sony's not making any more.
Nope.
So at some point, it will be a collector's item.
Sure.
So it'll be definitely worth your $30 investment. That's pretty much it for what I've played. Anything else?
No, nothing in terms of gaming on my end.
Okay, so on the movie side, you see anything interesting in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I guess, a couple I want to just briefly touch on. I saw a couple Best Picture nominees.
Okay, I actually don't even know I haven't even looked at what was nominated for Best Picture
yet.
I
don't have the full list in front of me, just off the top of my head. I mean, Black Panther got a nomination.
Yeah, I saw that.
Best Picture Oscar. You have Black Klansman, which I haven't seen, but I really want to see. Roma, which you can watch on Netflix.
Okay,
I have not seen it yet, but apparently I think people are saying it's probably the best of the, nominees.
Yeah, I gotta catch up on these because last year I saw I think everything.
Yeah. So I saw two Best Picture nominees. One that I'm not much of a fan of, and the other that I really liked.
Okay.
Are you looking at the list right now?
Yeah, and okay, I think it's one that you're going to say. Bohemian Rhapsody?
Bohemian Rhapsody.
That got nominated for Best Picture?
Yeah.
Come on, it can't be that good.
I mean, No, it's not.
Okay.
For one thing.
Best Picture, really?
Man, there's so much going on with, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Okay.
The fact that, did you hear about the whole thing with Bryan Singer, the director? Well, he was kind of the director until he left the project at the end of 2017. Mm-mm. So, do you know who Bryan Singer is?
Sounds familiar.
He did the first two X-Men movies,
yes.
The Usual Suspects.
Yeah.
He was he's a prominent gay director, but there's been these kind of allegations against him over the years about him, taking advantage of minors and possible, kind of rape accusations. And The Atlantic published like a big expose, was like with interviews with like 4 different people who have, had these kind of experiences with Bryan Singer. So,
wow.
He didn't get a Best Director nomination, but, there's a lot of debate about whether, this movie deserves to be, because of that. It's, I don't know, it's a touchy subject.
I don't think you punish a movie because of the director.
Sure, and the thing is, I like that a lot of the focus around the movie is based on, Rami Malek's lead performance.
Yeah.
He's great.
Okay,
like outside of whatever the rest of the movie's fault, he is giving 200%.
Okay.
And even though I think he should get a bit of a detraction because he's not actually singing, but then again, who really could sing like Freddie Mercury and do a convincing job? So I think that's fine. I think he does a great job in that lead performance, but it's a weird movie. Like it just feels like a 2-hour segment of just little individual scenes that don't really connect to each other. Mm-hmm. Like it just glosses over so much of the band's career.
That's what I've been hearing, and a lot of does it really touch on Freddie Mercury's?
It does a bit, but
drugs, sex life.
but just in the most kind of
surface
level.
Yeah.
It really glosses over. Like it focuses primarily on his relationship with his I guess like his first wife. Well, I guess only wife, but he was married for quite a while, and then they ended up splitting up because he revealed to her that he was gay, but they remained best friends for the rest of his life. And that story is really touching, but they don't focus on his actual his gay partner who was with him up until the time of his death. Mm-hmm. And he, it's just barely glossed over, and it just feels so Hollywood the way it's set up.
Okay, and, does it feel like it's just kind of, they're trying to find a way to get to the next song performance?
Yeah, or in terms of like, let's get to the Bohemian Rhapsody story. Yeah. Okay, let's get to how we came up with We Will Rock You.
Okay. And that's what I assume this would be, and that's typical of these type of movies.
And it's entertaining. Yep. It's fine. The music's great because it's Queen. I just feel like Queen deserves a better biopic than this. Like it just feels like such a substandard
but what biopics have been really good?
Walk the Line I thought was great.
Walk the Line was great. But it's hard to pull off, I think.
Yeah,
I like the Doors movie. I thought that was kind of cool.
Actually, I've never seen that one, but
it's good.
Yeah, I've heard good things.
So my point is, I wasn't expecting this to be. I was not expecting this to be a Best Picture nomination. And looking at the nominations,
not deserve that.
I feel like this may be a bit of a down year. I haven't seen a lot of these movies, but.
Well,
like A Star Is Born, great movie, but Best Picture, I don't know, man.
There's a few good ones on there.
Okay, I need to see more before I actually.
Yeah,
Black Panther's great, but I don't know about Best Picture.
Sure. The other movie I saw is The Favorite.
Yeah,
which I wasn't.
I know nothing.
I knew nothing about it going in. I knew it was. kind of a period drama, but I thought it was a serious period drama, and that's not what it is at all. So
this is in the theater right now.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I went and saw it at the Princess last week.
Okay.
And so it takes place in I think it's like early 18th century England. It's during Queen Anne's reign, and it's kind of like a court drama.
Okay.
All about her kind of inner circle. But it's not a serious historical piece at all. It's kind of like a comedy and...
Okay, I think I remember seeing a trailer for this, and it actually looked pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's all about their political machinations.
It's tough to sell. Like, right now people are listening and go, I'm not watching this.
Okay.
It's tough to sell a movie like this.
No,
but
absolutely.
Like, last year I watched, I think it was The Phantom Thread with...
right. Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you sell that movie? But, like, it was a great movie.
It seems like it'd be so boring.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing. From the outside,
yeah.
this... sounds like, I don't have any interest in that. It's like this weird court drama taking place with people with weird wigs on and things like that. I don't want to deal with that. I think you should see this movie. I think it's a period drama for people who don't like period dramas, because it doesn't care about history. It's just talking. It's almost like a lesbian romp almost.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Set
the queen is having these illicit affairs with her lady in waiting, and so Emma Stone's in it, and she plays this maid that gets hired on at the palace or whatever. Is it Buckingham? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway,
let us know
in the Queen's court, let's say, and she is actually cousins with Rachel Weisz's character, who plays the lady.
I love
in waiting.
Rachel Weisz.
She's great. All three of them are great in this. I think all three of them are nominated for Academy Awards.
Okay.
And honestly, they all deserve it. But, she starts to, gain favor with the Queen, and it's just, yeah. Oh, man.
Worth checking out.
Worth checking out, yeah. It wasn't what I expected at all. I think that was great going in not knowing anything, because in general, I like these sort of movies, just from the historical standpoint.
Yeah.
I realize they're not everyone's cup of tea, but...
Yeah, you're interested in that sort of stuff.
So I think, great Best Picture nominee.
So another nominee, it's not nominated for Best Picture, but I think this movie is good enough to be, is Isle of Dogs. So this is the latest Wes Anderson film. So it's kind of like that stop motion animation, much like Fantastic Mr. Fox was. I wasn't a huge fan of that one.
It was fine. It had its moments.
This one's great. Partially because I love Japan. It takes place in Japan, and basically the government has banished all dogs to like this wasteland of an island, this garbage island, and just gotten rid of all the dogs. So they're all dumped there. Isle of Dogs, and it centers around this 12-year-old boy who happens to be, I think, the nephew of the person that banished, like I think, I don't know, I can't remember if it's like the mayor or the senator of this region. So he decides to hop in this little airplane and fly to this island to go find his dog, who is like his guard dog, named Spots. And it's all Japanese, but it's like dubbed in English. And it's funny, at the beginning it says, all barks have been dubbed to English. So like the dogs, like they're speaking.
They speak English.
And they've got really interesting characters, like Bill Murray's in there. Edward Norton's a prominent character. So you kind of hear these familiar voices. It's very Wes Anderson. Really, really kind of like a dark comedy.
Every Wes Anderson is so Wes. Yeah. I know, he just has that distinctive style.
I love his stuff. Right?
Yeah.
Like Darjeeling Limited, I was a huge fan. The hotel. What was that called?
Grand Budapest.
Yeah,
great
so
movie.
Good. So anyways,
I also love Moonrise Kingdom.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
Really?
Yeah. So big Wes Anderson fan. Most people would know him through Rushmore, Life Aquatic.
Royal Tenenbaums?
Royal Tenenbaums would probably be one of his biggest.
Yep.
So this little boy, Atari, lands on this island, and there's like packs of dogs, obviously, and they're like, okay, well, none of our owners have ever tried to like come save us. This little boy is the first person to come here, and he seems like the only person that cares that we're here. So basically, I don't want to spoil too much. It's on Crave. I think it's on Crave.
Okay.
So that's just kind of a Canadian thing. I don't think it's on Netflix. It could be, but check it out on Netflix. Isle of Dogs. Really, really charming movie with a great story. That I think a lot of people probably missed.
I know I definitely did.
Yeah. So
and it was on my radar when it came out. I just forgot.
Definitely worth checking out. Really, really good film.
Cool.
And I think that's movie-wise, my computer has died here. That's really the only thing I watch, other than I think we both checked out the Fyre Festival doc on Netflix.
Oh, that's right.
Which was really, really good.
Man. Yeah, I love that this is just... There's so many memes now about this.
Yeah, with the sandwich.
And about the... I was fully prepared to walk into there for the Evian water and perform.
Oh yes!
Sexual
oh my god, I
acts.
forgot about that.
Oh,
so were you aware of the Fyre Festival when it was actually being promoted?
A little bit.
Okay.
I remember hearing some things about it. I didn't really look into it that much. It's just something about a disastrous festival.
Yeah, so I was aware of it before it even happened, right? So being big on Instagram, I saw all these Instagram models talking about this Fyre Festival. So basically, they paid a bunch of Instagram models to promote this Fyre Festival, a festival being put on by this kind of greasy entrepreneur and Ja Rule. Ja Rule was in prison for the longest time, and like he doesn't have a lot going on, so he's tied to this. And basically, they wanted to put on this ridiculously like huge festival, crazy expensive. They oversold everything. They sold like I don't know, like villas, like luxury villas, and basically what they gave people were like FEMA tents that were leftover tents from hurricanes. So it was just a big disaster, but they filmed every single second of it, and it is fascinating. The delusions of these people involved, and right down to the last minute, they thought that they were going to be able to pull this off. This guy who ran it, I mean, he wasn't
Billy something.
He actually really wasn't. He was definitely scamming people, but like he in his head, he was going to pull this off, which was amazing.
Yeah, they're like a week out from the thing. They're saying this is a disaster. We have to call it off. He's like, nah, we got it.
Yeah, he really thought he was going to make this work. So my wife hadn't heard any of this. So like, if you don't know what the Fyre Festival is, you've probably been seeing it on social media. Don't let that deter you from checking this out, because it is fascinating.
It's so fascinating. I have to say, like you're talking about how you had originally seen those, Instagram ads and stuff. From a marketing perspective, this thing was brilliant.
Oh yeah.
The way they sold it,
fire like crazy. So they basically paid a bunch of like the most followed Instagram supermodels for this promotional video. They posted all over social media. They cut up this really nice promo video of like, oh, it's going to be on this exclusive island that we bought
in the Bahamas.
Turns out
Pablo Escobar's island.
So it turns out they weren't even allowed to mention that, and Pablo Escobar's family kicked them off.
Yep.
They didn't even have an island. So they're like searching for this place that looks like an island that they can put this festival on that they're promising people. It's fascinating. The whole reason why this thing exists is because somebody at some point was like, let's document every single step of this, or else it's just like a story. But like seeing the people involved and the lengths that they went to, specifically that guy that was brought in at one point
it's so ridiculous.
So this like shyster guy had people that were willing to do things for him. It kind of speaks to how persuasive he was.
Yeah.
Like, these people were willing to put in all this work and put themselves on the line to do this for this guy.
Yeah, well, they talked about how they would keep running out of money, and he would go back to New York, and a few days later he'd come back with a few million just because he got another investor on board somehow. And it's how does he keep pulling this off?
Well, they had this one lady that kept on feeding them money, and she's like in the dock. They're like, oh yeah, this is the lady right here. And they're like behind her back going like, yeah, don't give her any more updates of what's happening because we need more money out of her. Like,
so
that
much
poor lady.
shadiness and just... Oh, you know who I feel so bad for is the one who...
The guy from the Barbados or the
in
local?
Bahamas. Yeah, and she is running the restaurant,
her,
and she's like, I had to pay workers out of my own.
Yes.
And like my savings are gone. But I guess there's a GoFundMe for that happened. But
watching the movie, I was like watching the documentary. I'm like, I'll bet you that somebody set something up for her.
Yeah.
Because basically, she hired all these workers with the idea that they were going to be paid. They weren't paid, and she felt like she was on the hook for it, which happened to a lot of people. The other guy, the main. I forget his name, but he was was it Jimmy from the Barbados guy who like the local? I forget his name, but he was fantastic.
He had to get out of there.
Yeah, like fearing for his life because people were like looking for their money. Hundreds of workers that put all this time into this vessel that were never paid.
I felt like, didn't you just feel kind of a little bit gross after watching it in terms of, looking at how it's just a bunch of these, dumbass white people that came in and just took advantage of this
yep.
island and just screwed up their economy. Like, it could have been an amazing injection of...
That's the thing, and that's what
if
these
it had
people...
been pulled off.
Yep,
yeah,
that's
what
these
they
people
thought
it would be. This is going to be great for our area. This festival's going to be here every year.
Yeah.
Ended up destroying it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great doc.
The best meme that came out of it, and we... Hannah and I had talked about this when we were watching it. It's that the pilot who trained himself on like Microsoft, like the plane simulator has the best ideas. You know you're in trouble.
Yeah,
he was the most sensible guy. He's like, oh, I'm gonna go camp out in those tents and check them out. Oh, it's awful, guys. We shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
Oh, you should really. Hey, we should go to Home Depot and get some porta potties.
Yeah, like where are these people gonna go to the bathroom? And they're like, you're fired.
The logistics. Yeah, they're like, we're not listening to you. You're just flying us in. Okay.
I saw the one meme yesterday that was whatever the main guy's name was, but he was like, it was his picture, and he was like, I've got 2 courtside or two 50-yard line seats to the Super Bowl, and I'll throw in a free Beyonce after show concert, $500. Like, hit me up. So basically, after this whole thing went down, he went into like this whole other scam with like
those VIP,
ripping people off, and it's
and they were filming it.
Yeah, they filmed the whole thing.
It's so incriminating.
This guy incriminated himself so much. It's interesting because I'm pretty sure the guy's, if not in prison, on his way for quite a long time.
Yeah. I think it was 6 years or something.
But you know, we've kind of spoiled a lot of this doc, but there's so much. There's so much stuff in this documentary that you're just like, it just gets like crazier and crazier as it goes along, and kind of peaks at that point where that his one buddy was willing to do something for this. You got to see it. But yeah, it's on Netflix. Check it out.
And so there's another documentary too. I guess Hulu came out with one, and there's like these competing documentaries. I haven't watched that one yet. From what I understand, they actually interview that guy Billy.
Okay.
And Billy, take more of I guess closer look at him in terms of just the Netflix one, which gives kind of an overall. Yeah,
I'd be interested to see that. The Netflix one was really, really well done.
Yeah. So
that was kind of a really deep dive into the Fyre Festival doc, but I really do recommend it to you guys if you haven't seen it already. Really, really fascinating. So that's it for us this week. I think we've gone way over time, but I just kind of wanted to know what's on your plans to play in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and complete that second run of Resident Evil 2.
Okay.
And probably try and get back to Bloodborne. I do want to try the Anthem demo this weekend still.
That's right. There's another one coming
now
around.
Now that it's, I think, actually working. Yeah, I think it was released yesterday and probably goes till Sunday. So I'm going to check that out. Otherwise, yeah, I'm going to try and start Kingdom Hearts 3.
Okay.
See what's going on there.
So you and I can, that'll be interesting for next week. We'll give our thoughts.
You'll be further into it.
For sure. I'm definitely going to play a lot of Kingdom Hearts this weekend. Our bi-weekly weather report. It's still freezing cold.
We survived the polar vortex.
It was hitting like, what, minus 35 with wind chill here?
Yeah, but it was way worse in the Midwest and like Chicago. Did you see the pictures of Chicago?
People freezing
like the frozen lake. People are like, this is like day after tomorrow. Like it looks like those still shots of that movie. Like...
crazy. Yeah, so
just wild.
I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to leave my house. So basically, I'll be here all weekend playing video games. I've been playing a lot of video games lately, and it's
same.
It's been great.
It's nice. Yeah, there's been some great ones.
Yeah.
And you got that VR now. And...
Oh yeah. Right after this, I'm putting my helmet back on and drowning out my family with my headphones.
That seems like a great idea.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining us for this episode. As always, you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, the Google Play Store, Spotify. Feel free to subscribe and leave us a review. It really helps our podcast get out there to more people. And thank you for all the awesome comments. You can feel free to watch the YouTube video, leave some comments there.
Yeah, and I think leave some questions too if you want us to answer any questions on the next episode. Yeah, definitely leave them in the comments for this video.
At some point in the next couple of weeks, we'll maybe come up with a way that people can submit questions or stuff that we'll put out to you guys in the audience. I really think it would be interesting to kind of all be playing a similar game here and there that we can kind of touch on each week that the audience can kind of play too. And we've thought about doing that with a movie too, like a movie that's accessible, like maybe like a classic 80s or 90s film that we kind of watch and just talk about for a few minutes. Something that you guys can be, and the audience can be involved in the show a little bit more.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us once again. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye for now.